Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's sports podcast. It's Friday, the 14th of January 2022, and we're going to do things a little bit differently this week. We're going to start by talking about the cricket. I've been watching two test matches this morning. England have obviously taken Australia in the fifth Ashes test in Hobart, and South Africa are also taking on India in the third and decisive test in South Africa. And basically, the South Africans on the verge of winning their match and winning the series 2-1. The England game has been declared stumps. There was some rain just after tea on the first day, and they've not played since, and it's now been declared there'll be no further play today. So we'll start by talking about the Australia and England game. Australia are 241 for 6 in their first innings. England got off to a good start. Australia were 12 for 3 at one point. Early inroads including dismissals of David Warner and Steve Smith, both for ducks, and Khawaja scored 6. Marnus Labuschagne managed 44. He should have been out before that was dropped by Zach Crawley. In the afternoon session, Australia counter-attacked. The returning Travis Head, who's been brought back in after his COVID issues, replaced the out-of-form Marcus Harris. Well, he managed 101 off 113 balls. And Cameron Green, who I would describe as a giraffe carrying a bat, he scored 74. They basically laid waste to Mark Wood and to Chris Woakes during the afternoon session. But ironically, they were the two bowlers that got them out eventually. Woakes dismissing Head, and Wood dismissing Cameron Green. Wood was very expensive. He bowled something like 11 overs for 79 before he got his wicket, which isn't very good. So England let them off the hook a little bit when they had the ascendancy after the first sort of like 9 or 10 overs. Really, they were really on the back foot with Australia, but they fought back and now they've turned it round. To compound this, Ollie Robinson suffered an injury in the first over of the afternoon session. It looks like it might be a back spasm, in which case he may not be able to bowl in the rest of the match. Fingers crossed he'll be back, but he has returned to the field, so that's a positive sign, I guess. In terms of the actual changes then, so Travis Head has come in for Australia in place of Marcus Harris. That's their only change. And for England, Hasib Ahmed has been dropped and replaced by Rory Burns. I think that was expected. We knew that Josh Butler was injured, so he's out and been replaced by they called up Sam Billings behind the stumps. Johnny Bairstow must have failed his fitness test, so he's not playing, and Ollie Pope's batting at number 6. Ben Stokes is playing as a specialist batsman at number 5. And then in the bowling attack, we've got Broad and Wood and Woakes and Robinson. Hopefully he can bowl again. I thought Anderson was nailed on to playing this game, but he's not playing, so there you go. Woods, Broad and Robinson have taken 2 wickets each early doors, and then we've got Woakes and Wood have taken 1 each after being expensive in the afternoon session. Like I said, play came to a halt just after tea at 241 for 6. The batsman in at the moment, and Mitchell Stark, who's not scored yet, and Alex Carey's on 10. So that's where we are with that game. I'll keep updated. We'll know the outcome by next Friday when we do next week's podcast. In the other game, South Africa are on the cusp of winning the series 2-1. Benin, let's have a look. In fact, they've just won as I look now. They've just won the match by 7 wickets. So, yeah, they've completed the victory to win the series there. India were disappointed, no doubt. Not aided by a second innings batting collapse. They were out for 198. Rishabh Pant was left stranded on 100 not out. The only other players to reach double figures for India were Virat Kohli, who got 29. He showed a slight return to form in this game, having scored 79 in the first innings. He's not scored a test century since 2019, but that's skewed a little bit by the fact they only played 3 test matches in 2020 anyway. And then the other batsmen in this innings have got double figures with KL Rahul. He got 10, Extra's got 28. The rest of the team might as well not have been there. South Africa batted well. It was Keegan Peterson scored good runs in each innings. He got 82 in the second innings, and he's probably seen them home. More has seen them home. It was Babuma and Van der Dusen that saw them over the line in the end up. But yeah, they were pleased with that with South Africa. They're not the strongest team these days, but India seem to struggle sometimes. They've had good results abroad in recent times. I mean, obviously done well in Australia and England to win series in both countries there. South Africa, they always tend to be low-scoring games because of the greenness of the pitches, and it suits the fast bowlers. But India have got good fast bowlers as well. It's the batters that can't cope with the conditions more than anything else. So yeah, they'll be disappointed with that. Okay, then moving on from the cricket, we're going to talk about NFL next because we're at the wildcard game stage this weekend. The last spot in the wildcards was secured last weekend by the Raiders. They defeated the Chargers 35-32 in overtime to get the last spot in the wild cards, and the wild card matches start this weekend. Tomorrow we've got the first of those games. We've got 2 matches on Saturday, 3 matches on Sunday, and then we've got the final game on Monday Night Football. So I'm going to go through those now and basically look at the games. So tomorrow we've got the Bengals against the Raiders, and that's the late game at 9:30 tomorrow night, our time, should I say. And then we've got the Bills against the Patriots. That's the Saturday night, Sunday morning game, 1:15 Sunday morning UK time. Then we've got 3 matches on Sunday. The 6 o'clock game is the Buccaneers against the Eagles. 9:30 UK time, Cowboys take on the 49ers. And then the Monday morning game is the Chiefs against the Steelers. Just been reading an article about the Steelers to say they're the biggest underdogs in the history of wild cards matches. So it'll be interesting to see if they can overcome the Chiefs. It'll be a surprise if they do. And then the Monday Night Football, or Tuesday morning our time, early hours of Tuesday morning, 1:15, we've got the Rams against the Cardinals. So that's where we are with the playoff games, and obviously we'll come to the next round of those games the following weekend, and we'll have a roundup of the results from this week's matches this time next week. Okay, now let's move on to the football, and we'll start by talking about the FA Cup. And it's the FA Cup, it was FA Cup 3rd round last weekend, and we've got the 4th round games coming up. I think it's on the 5th of February. So what I'll do is I'll go through the draw for the 4th round and talk about the outcome, how they got to that stage, basically, how they got through to the 4th round. The big surprises were Cambridge winning 1-0 away to Newcastle, and for the reward for beating Newcastle away is a home tie against Luton in the next round. Other surprises included Boreham Wood's 2-0 win at home to Wimbledon, and they've been rewarded with an away trip to Bournemouth, who beat Yeovil away. And then we've got the other surprise was Kidderminster, who beat Reading 2-0, and they've been rewarded with a home tie against West Ham, and I believe it's not the first time they played West Ham in the FA Cup. I can't remember what happened last time where they played them before, but they'll be pleased with that, I'm sure. The other ties in the 4th round then are Crystal Palace at home to Hartlepool. Crystal Palace came from a goal down at Millwall to win 2-1. Huddersfield, who won 2-1 away to Burnley, they came from behind. They've got Barnsley at home in the next round. Peterborough play QPR in the next round. Southampton are at home to Coventry. Chelsea, who absolutely battered Chesterfield 5-1. They took all the best players off at half time. Chesterfield played well in the second half, I believe, though. My friend Aidan, the Chesterfield fan, said that they played really well in the second half. Unfortunately for Aidan, he couldn't attend the game. He was struck down with COVID, had to sell his ticket, so unlucky there, mate. Shame. You'll never get a chance. You get a chance to go to another game, hopefully, of a high level in the future. So fingers crossed for that next time you'll have success. Everton are at home to Brentford in the next round. Manchester United, slightly fortuitous to beat Aston Villa, although I might be a little bit biased, but I've got to say the Villa goal was ruled out under, shall we say, dubious circumstances. And they lost 1-0 at Old Trafford on Monday night. But Manchester United now will play Middlesbrough in the next round. Tottenham, they were 1-0 down at home to Morecambe, but they fought back to win 3-1 with a couple of late goals, and they're playing Brighton at home in the 4th round. Liverpool came from a goal down against Shrewsbury to beat them 4-1. They've been rewarded with a home tie against Cardiff. Stoke will play Wigan. Nottingham Forest, who deservedly beat Arsenal, were very poor on the day. They beat Arsenal 1-0 at the City Ground last Sunday with a late Lewis Grabban winner. They play Leicester in the next round. Leicester battered Watford at home. I think it was 4-1. Manchester City, who won comfortably away to Swindon. They're at home to Fulham in the next round. And then Wolves will be at home to Norwich. Norwich, who overcame a tough tie by winning, I think, 1-0 at Charlton. So that's the draw for the 4th round of the FA Cup. During the week, we've also had the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, and Chelsea have made their way through to the final, which will be held on the 27th of February at Wembley. They defeated Tottenham over 2 legs, 3-0. They've won the first leg at Stamford Bridge 2-0, and they completed the job at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Wednesday evening with a 1-0 victory. Tottenham will point to 2 overturned penalty decisions and a disallowed goal, perhaps, but to be fair, the decisions were all correct when they were overturned and decided it wasn't a goal. So they didn't really deserve anything out of the game, to be honest. It was quite a poor performance. Chelsea thoroughly deserves to be in the final. The other match, the other semi-final, the first leg was held last night between Liverpool and Arsenal. That was at Anfield, and it finished as a goalless draw. which was probably a little bit of a surprise to many people, especially after Arsenal were reduced to 10 men after 24 minutes or so, when Granit Xhaka was sent off for denying a goal-scoring opportunity on Diogo Jota. He did make a genuine attempt for the ball, he just got it wrong, and unfortunately, by the letter of the law, the referee had no option but to send him off. So disappointment for Arsenal in that respect, but they fought really hard in the rest of the game. Liverpool were nowhere near the standard you'd expect from them, really, and they never really looked like scoring. I think both sides only had one shot on target in the whole match, and that was only at the end. Liverpool looked like a team that was wanting to win the game, but probably in the last 5 minutes of normal time, and they added 5 minutes. But other than that, they were really poor. They'll be disappointed with that. And now maybe the boot's on the other foot. Arsenal have the advantage being at home in the second leg next Thursday, and they'll be hoping to finish the job. But like I say, you never rule Liverpool out. Even without Mane and Salah, they've still got players of the quality of Fabinho, Firmino, Jota, and the likes. So it's not over yet. We'll see what happens. I'll update you on the outcome of that in next Friday's podcast. Moving on now then to the Premier League, and this weekend's game start this evening. We've got Brighton against Crystal Palace, which is live on Sky. The big game of the weekend is tomorrow, lunchtime on BT Sport. Manchester City against Chelsea. Manchester City well ahead at the top of the table already. This will push them further ahead if it can beat Chelsea tomorrow. So it's imperative for Chelsea that they win this game and also give hope to other teams such as Liverpool. The game between Burnley and Leicester has been called off because of COVID. We've got Newcastle, Watford, Norwich, Everton, and Wolves, Southampton. The 3 o'clock kickoffs tomorrow afternoon. Then the tea time Sky game is Aston Villa against Manchester United. Villa will be hoping to get some kind of revenge over United for what happened on Monday. Whether that happens will remain to be seen. Sunday we've got Liverpool against Brentford. Then you've got 2 Sky games. You've got West Ham against Leeds, 2 PM kickoff, and a 4:30 kickoff is the North London derby at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium between Tottenham and Arsenal. Arsenal will be buoyed by last night's result. Tottenham will be looking to get some kind of improvement from seeing the disappointing result in the league during the week against Chelsea. So they'll be hoping to fight back. So that's what's happening this week. There are also some midweek games coming next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. We've got Burnley, Watford Tuesday, and also Brighton and Chelsea. And then on Wednesday we've got Leicester, Tottenham, and we've got Brentford, Manchester United. The Leicester game the Leicester game against Tottenham is on BT Sport, as far as I can tell, and so the Brentford game is as well. Let's have a look at the Tuesday game because I haven't looked at that. Yeah, they're all on. It says they're all on BT Sport, so all 4 midweek games are going to be covered by BT Sport. I think it might be from when they were previously scheduled to have the games, but they got cancelled, so that's why they've got the rights to show them now. So they're going to be on. If you've got BT Sport, you can choose to watch any of those games if you wish to do so. Now moving on to the National League, and I'm pleased to say that FC Halifax Town are top of the National League after 2 victories in the last week. 4-0 comfortable 4-0 victory last Saturday against Eastleigh at home was followed by a tough 1-0 victory on Tuesday night at home to Grimsby. A penalty by Matty Warburton decided the game on Tuesday evening. Grimsby brought around 1,100 fans, good crowd, good atmosphere, good game really, tight all the way through. Halifax just about deserved the victory, I would say. They'll be pleased to be 4 points clear at the top, but Chesterfield do have 3 games in hand. And they've got Halifax are playing the FA Trophy this forthcoming weekend. They away to Alfreton, and I'd just like to mention good luck to the Sherman in that game. No doubt Billy Heath will be putting up a good fight, former Town manager, and I wish all the best of Alfreton for every game apart from Saturday against Town. But yeah, Chesterfield are out of they had to pull out of the FA Trophy due to COVID in the previous round, so now they've got 2 league games. They've got Barnet at home, and I think they've got Maidenhead away on Tuesday, and Town are playing Maidenhead next Saturday, so it could be a good yardstick to measure the performance of Chesterfield against Halifax in how they perform against Maidenhead in the next week or so. So Chesterfield could actually go top again if they win those 2 games over the next week or so. But as it stands at the moment, Town are 4 points clear. They're on 47 points. Chesterfield are on 43 points. Then we've got Boreham Wood on 42 points, and they've got 3 games in hand on Town as well. So they're also going to be a threat, and they are a difficult team to beat. And Town's next home match on the 25th of January is on BT Sport, and that is at home to Boreham Wood. So that's a really important game for both sides there. Notts County in 4th at the moment, 41. As are Bromley on 41 points too. Then we've got Dagenham and Stockport on 39 in the other playoff places. Wrexham are 8th place on 39, but their goal difference is slightly inferior. They've scored less goals than Stockport by 1 by the looks of it. They've both got the same goal difference of plus 15, but Stockport have scored 39 goals. Wrexham have scored 38. Stockport also have a midweek game next week. I think that's against Altrincham actually. Just played them once. Is it Altrincham? I'll have to look that up actually to see if they are playing against Altrincham. But they've got a midweek game on Tuesday next week. I've already mentioned Maidenhead are playing Chesterfield. But there's another game on Tuesday night. I'm just going to check that now. Let's see who they're playing. Let's have a look. National League Tuesday. No, it's Eastleigh at home actually, so they should probably win that as well. Based on what I saw from Eastleigh last Saturday, they should beat them, so that'll move them up the table a little bit as well. So that's where we are in terms of the football as well now. So we've gone through all that. Is there anything else I want to mention? Not really. The only other thing I probably should mention is that the Australian Open tennis starts on Monday, and it's still not clear as to whether Novak Djokovic is going to be taking part or not. The will he have a visa, won't have a visa argument rumbles on. I think it's quite clear from the majority of our players that they feel that he's playing his own game here. He's got to be playing by his own rules. If Djokovic doesn't take part, he's obviously the favourite. Nadal's in it, so there's got to be a shout for Rafa Nadal. You've got players like Stefanos Tsitsipas, and you've got Dominic Thiem as well, and you've got Medvedev, so they're all going to be potential winners as well. I haven't really looked at the ladies' draw as such, but it tends to be very open anyway, so I haven't looked to see who's taking part and who isn't. If anybody wants me to cover the ladies' tennis from the Australian Open in more detail, just leave a comment below, because it's not really something I've concentrated on in the past. I do sort of take a passing interest in it. Emma Raducanu is obviously going to be in it, but her form's not been good since she won the US Open, and she was beaten last week, so it'll be interesting to see how she performs. I know the one thing I have read is I haven't seen who she's playing, but she's got a former Open Grand Slam winner in the first round as Emma, so it'll be a tough match for her, I'm sure. But it'd be nice to see her fight back and get sort of like a victory back on the board again. After having this little bit of struggle. Oh, she's playing Sloane Stephens. I was looking at that, yes, and she's won the US Open before now, I believe. So that will be a tough match. So fingers crossed. She's the 17th seed as Emma, but yeah, she's a wild. I think Sloane's either a qualifier or a wild card. But yeah, it'll be a tough match for her. So come on, Emma, you can do it. Right, that's where I'm going to leave it for this week. So I hope you've enjoyed watching as always. Any comments you've got to make below, please do so. Anything you want to see added or you think I've missed out, let me know as well. But until next week, thank you for watching and goodbye for now.